Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here of In the Zone, and we're back here on YouTube live streaming today. Giancarlo Aulino, Chris Martelli here. Nick is taking some R&R. He's going to be back next week, but Chris, we're back here on the YouTube live stream on the StreamYard. A lot has been made in the last couple of weeks with the Leafs. I saw Mitchie, a video of him practicing with Vegas, his first practice, and I did not like it. Pissed me off. His first practice with the team, and he's not in a Leaf uniform, but one guy that is Dakota Joshua. What were your thoughts when the Leafs made this surprise move for Dakota Joshua?
It's funny because everybody does their Puckpedia stuff, like, oh, like let's make trades and project the Leafs lineup. I did one Aulino, and I had this player on the Leafs. So you know what? I'm really happy with the direction Berube's going. Um, you know, he got all these guys basically for the same salary as Mitch Marner. So Dakota Joshua, we all know he's coming off a very tough year. He was battling cancer that not a lot of people knew about. Just didn't have a productive season, but the year before that he had 18 goals. I think I think Berube and I think Trey Living are just kind of they're just looking for a bounce back for a guy that's I think he's going to be hungry to win. And you're just giving up a fourth round pick. It's not really anything too significant, but I like it a lot, Alino. I think very underrated player. If he is healthy, Max Domi's making about 1.7 more than him. So my biggest question after making this move is, do they keep Yarncroke and Kampf? Because I kind of don't think that's an option at this point. You can't be having Kampf or Yarncroke scratched and they're both getting paid over 2 million. So you have to try and trade both of them if you can, but getting Dakota Joshua, man, for a fourth round pick, that is that's a big grab for the Leafs. And yeah, he could play lines 2, 3, and 4, I think, on this roster. But he's donning the number 81. The last guy to do that was Phil Kessel. So no pressure, Dakota. You got this.
And do you think this is going to be something where we could see Kampf kind of get moved, or is this contract going to kind of be like stuck with his team? Because when I look at the roster, it's like you have Robertson there. He did have a productive playoff run, but do you think they're going to have to be forced to move on from somebody else and keep him for another year?
Well, I think teams are not scared to make moves and take risks at this. They didn't question it right away. They go out and get him. I think Robertson it's a head scratcher how he's still not signed. I think he can get 20 goals in a full 82 game season. If you're the Leafs, I would try and trade Kampf and Yarncroke and keep Robertson. But I think Robertson is going to want about 3.5, like maybe 3 million. He's younger than Joshua, arguably you could argue more productive than him. But yeah, I agree with you. I think when teams are looking at the Leafs and they're looking at what is available, I think the key guys that they're looking at is guys like Brandon Carlo, Max Domi, any of those guys that they can kind of shed away. And of course, obviously, if he waived his no move, Morgan Riley. But I don't really see a lot of a lot of guys and teams that are interested in Yarncroke and Kampf. And it is sad. I think they are NHL players. I don't think they're guys that should be in the AHL. It's just with the cap and the cap hits that they have and the production that they have, it's not feasible. The only teams that I think can take them, we already know where I'm going, like the Chicagos, like those type of teams that are at the bottom of the barrel. So hopefully they could do us a favor, because I think if you get rid of at least one of them, you could.
Oh, just lost you there, Chris. Lost you there.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, you said about if you get rid of one of them and then you just cut out.
Oh no, just if you get rid of one of them, it, it it makes space for Nick Robertson. And there's not a lot of teams out there, I think, that are going to the Leafs and saying we want Kampf and Jarnkrok. So there's going to be a few teams, I think, that are really below the floor and they need some salary. Maybe it's San Jose, maybe it's other teams, but yeah, I don't see Kampf and Jarnkrok really getting a lot of interest, buddy.
I remember I did see like some reports, it could all be BS for all I know, but like Morgan Riley's name, like getting floated around. Is his contract going to be something where it's just going to be too much, or could a team actually take a risk on him? Because he has shown potential. Like when he's going, he is a really good defenseman in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it's up to Riley. I think a lot of teams are interested in a defenseman like him. I don't think he's a number one defenseman, but I think he's an elite 2, 3 defenseman. And 7.5 mil is quite a bit, but we've seen defensemen get a lot worse. Like Sharon, I think is at 5 million, and he's nowhere near the defenseman that Riley is. So if yeah, I think there's definitely teams out there that would love a Morgan Riley. It's just again up to the player in this situation. I don't think he wants to leave. I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of people want him to leave. I think this is more of just like a culture shock. Like they just kind of want to change things up because man, if you think about our team, I was really high on Bowen Byram coming into the offseason because we need a guy that can just play the power play. I don't think Riley's that defenseman anymore. He's logged so many minutes, and I just think like I said, he does have interest around the league. I just think it's up to Morgan Riley at this point if he wants to waive his no move. And if he does, I think the team that should go out and get him is a Vancouver.
Yeah, that's true. And it would be nice for him going home to Vancouver. A nice story. But do you think if the Leafs were to move Riley, it would be to get Kadri? Or do you think he wouldn't move a no wave to go to the Flames?
I mean, if you think about it, if we move Riley, I think we need another defenseman badly. I know we are a very old school, grinded out team now. We have that identity, but you need an offensive defenseman on the team. You can't have Ekman Larson leading your team in points on the back end. This isn't 2014 anymore. So dude, listen, I love Kadri. I think he never should have left this team. I think he would have been the perfect second, third line center. But if I'm if I'm Toronto, I don't think I'm doing that trade just because, again, yeah, it would look nice with Kadri, Matthews, and John Tavares. But then you look at the defense and who's going to be manning the power play. Ekman Larson. I'm done with the five forwards. I don't think that's going to work now, especially with Mitch gone, because he could play defense at times at the power play. But nah, man. Like again, if I'm Toronto and they say, oh yeah, we'll give you Kadri if you give us Riley and he waives it, I'd still say no, man. I think the jackpot for the Leafs was a Bowen Byram, was a Rasmus Anderson, like those type of defensemen that you just kind of don't get. So if I'm the Leafs going into next year, I know there's big names like there's McDavid, there's Kaprizov, there's all these big free agents. If you can get a really big defenseman next year, like an offensive defenseman, then you're set.
It even looks like the Leafs are targeting like another defenseman. They're keeping their options open, especially with Carlo's contract. How I think it's this year, it's the last one, so they're gonna have free up more money there. The cap goes up. Is there more hope there for the Connor McDavid sweepstakes, or do you think he'll be signed? Because he is kind of leaving it out there, kind of like Marner did, where he's not going to discuss his contract during the year. So, is there a chance, or you think he's going to be like, "Nah, I'm staying"?
I've been reading a lot into this because of obviously I'm excited. It's McDavid, but I don't see it happening. I just think he's going to sign maybe a 2-year deal with Edmonton. He'll do like what Matthews has done, like a very short term, give me 15 million for 2 years and I'll run it back with the team that I have. But if there's one thing that we can kind of get a gauge on, if we were to try and get McDavid, it's based on who we have coming up. So let's say we trade a Max Domi, we trade a Brandon Carlo. and the only guy that's playing is a guy like that's just freeing up cap space there. So if I'm the Leafs, obviously the first deal of business I would do is I would trade Carlo and Domi. That's about 8 million. And then you probably have to trade one of maybe it's kind of tough to tell, but maybe a guy like a John Tavares, like you might have to kind of juggle that around. But I think McDavid, if he were to come here, it would be astronomical. It would definitely be like a 6 year, $15 million per, just lock him up for probably the rest of his career. Because I know with the new CBA next year, the max is 6 years on a
Yeah.
long-term deal. So again, if I am the Leafs, I'm going balls to the wall with Connor McDavid, obviously, but Edmonton does have the most power out of any team. So it's up to Connor. It's up to his camp. We all know he has Leon with him. I'm interested to see though, because Edmonton, they moved a lot of their coaching staff. So I don't know if this is like a hint that they're possibly looking at rebuilding, but it's going to be interesting. I do say though, if they are going to get McDavid, they got to free up cap, and Domi and Carlo, I think, are the names to watch.
100%. And speaking of freeing up cap and guys like going in and getting these max deals and returning to their old teams, two of them in the NBA returned to their old teams. Chris Paul went back to the Clippers. It's kind of reuniting with James Harden. So Harden gets another former teammate after he had Westbrook with him there. Kawhi now has him. Beal, Harden, like, is this going to be something where the Clippers are going to be a force in the West, or is this going to be doomed on arrival?
This is the old age home, Aulino. The average age is like 34 years old. Listen, I love these guys. They bring so much drive every time they're out there. We all know Chris Paul and James Harden don't have rings. That's going to be a massive narrative for the year. Russell Westbrook is still a free agent, so if he wants to add to that, you can go to the Clippers as well. Just that would be so funny. But I'm really happy for Chris Paul. There's not a lot of guys at his position, even at his weight. He's never been the most skinny guy. So the fact that he's still kind of going, it's year 21. He's not going to get you, he's not going to wow you offensively anymore, but he's going to definitely contribute playmaking. He's a triple double threat some nights when he has his legs under him. But like I said this to my brother. I love the Brook Lopez signing. It's so sneaky because this is a guy that, like, yeah, he's slow, but this is a guy that's been in the league for 15 years, and he's that adaptable center. He shoots threes, he blocks, does a lot of great things. So yeah, they got rid of Norman Powell, but I think, when you add a guy like Chris Paul, you add a guy like Bradley Beal, and you add a guy like Brook Lopez, I think this is definitely a team, even though they are old, I do think they can surprise. They could be a surprise in the West this year. But we do need, the whole key to this is Kawhi has to play.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's got to carry them and make sure that he's putting in an extra shift. So he's going to earn that pay. It's kind of like back pay. Like, you missed all the time in the beginning. The ownership is like, yeah, you got to play all 82, Kawhi. Get ready to lace them up. Poor guy's going to be, dropping down numbers. But even in the Western Conference, Damian Lillard's another name back to Portland. This was a huge surprise. So he gets a big buyout from Milwaukee. And obviously he's still injured. He's going to miss a year. So Chauncey Billups said he's going to be the most expensive assistant coach in the league. Like, is this going to fast track, you think, the rebuild, or do you think they'll just stay out this year, collect picks, and Lillard knows what he's getting himself into, and probably a championship might be out of their grasp there?
Well, it's funny because, you talk about they got rid of Lillard because they got Scoot Henderson in the draft, and he definitely hasn't panned out as advertised. Now, they did get rid of Anthony Simons in a surprise. I thought that was the guy that was like there, at least for this year, he would be their leading scorer, him or Shaedon Sharp. Shaedon Sharp, I think, is a really good player. I think he could have a breakout season, maybe like 22 points per game. But no, man, this is a team that is nowhere near They're not ready to contend yet. I'd still say bottom three, just because I don't really have trust in their depth guys too. Like I know Danny of Deja had a really good year. Kamara was pretty good at times, but like you just lost DeAndre Ayton and you lost Anthony Simons, two guys that, yeah, the team was not the greatest this year, are probably one of the worst in the league, but they definitely did their job offensively. So you don't have Dame. It's going to probably be the Shaden Sharp and Scoot Henderson show this year. And if Scoot Henderson does not impress, man, with the amount of opportunity he's going to have, there might be some questions about his future on the Trailblazers once the OG man himself, Dame, is back.
100%. And one final one that everybody's talking about, LeBron James. It looks
Oh,
like he
yeah.
could be out. The rumors are all going around. Like, is he going to meet with them? Are they going to move him to the Mavs? Is he going to have a farewell tour this year? Thinking of retiring? What do you make of this little circus that's brewing right now with LA?
I think it's a damn shame because this guy has always been, I mean, at least for this first 15 years in the league, he was very humble. He didn't really say much. He just went on the court and did his job. But I think the last since they won the championship in 2020, I've seen a change in his behavior. I've seen him never take a pay cut, never want to genuinely build a team around him to win. Like for me, the first red flag, if I'm Rob Pelinka, and I know he has a great relationship with LeBron, but if you're going to opt into that contract, you can't build a really good team around the salaries, but between LeBron and Doncic. So yeah, like having those two players is phenomenal on your team, but when you look at the bench, there's really not a lot. So when the starters are getting outplayed, they're going to get absolutely cooked in these games. So there's just no opportunity here for them to really contend, and there's no opportunity for them to just absolutely rebuild. And I know what you're thinking. They're not going to rebuild with Luka Doncic there, but it almost seems as if they need to make a massive trade somewhere else. Like they need to trade LeBron, they need to trade somebody to just improve dramatically everywhere, because you struck out on Mark Williams. That would have been massive. And your starter is Jackson Hayes. No offense to him, not really a meaningful starter in this league. So now you're going to have LeBron play. This is year 23, getting paid 50 plus million, and he's your starter at the 4 spot. So it's just not looking realistic for them to be a top contender. And I do think it is mostly LeBron's fault. So if I am Rob Pelinka at this point with the salary and how much he's making, try and get the feels out there. See if a Dallas team will bite. See if Golden State will bite. Because I know there's going to be a team out there that bites for LeBron.
Oh, 100%. Especially, you think Miami or Cleveland, you think they'll go back and say, hey, LeBron, you want to come back? Do you think that ship has sailed and those bridges are burned?
I just think so I would love to see him go back to Cleveland with the team they have. But knowing Rob Pelinka, he's going to be like, we want either Jared Allen or let's say Jared Allen and someone else. And they're just going to be like, you're out of your mind. This is the core. And that's it. Because Cleveland, to me, is building what Boston did a couple of years ago. They had the mega team, but except they're doing this now with the proper salary restrictions, which is impressive. So Cleveland, as crazy as it sounds, does not need LeBron James. They really don't. So if there is one team, Pat Riley, you all know the history with LeBron, maybe you trade Tyler Hero. Maybe you trade someone else. You take a chance on like a Jovic. Basically, all the white guys go to LA and LeBron goes to Miami. You have Jovic and Tyler Hero go one way, LeBron the other way. Having LeBron with Bam Adebayo,
Yeah.
good luck with that. And the Canadian MJ.
Oh, yeah. Imagine that. Like, it'd just be weird, like him going back to Miami. I know they have like a decent team, you can say, but like other teams, like where can he really go in the East? Because it's so wide open. Like Philly, you don't know what's gonna happen there. All their stars are injured. They have Maxey just hanging out there and basically playing with no one. The Raptors could be an option if they wanted to go that route, but they have Ingram, Scotty. Like, why ruin a good thing there? Boston lost Tatum, so I think the East, if anything, like if you were to go somewhere, if it's not Golden State, like I think the East because it's wide open, that would be the probably the play and the move for the Lakers.
Yeah, I think the Knicks would be like the team to watch because they have a lot of great starters on their team. They have guys like
Yeah,
Josh Hart, they have Michael Bridges. I think they could part ways with them, knowing that you're getting LeBron. Because again, with New York, it's all about marketability. You'd have Towns, you'd have Brunson, you'd have OG Anunoby, and you'd have LeBron James.
that'd be a solid fit.
That would.
We're cooking here. We got some good trade offers out there. So we got the Knicks, we got Miami, Cleveland, Golden State as options. Do you think actually Golden State? Now that we think about this, like ego's one thing. Like, you think LeBron's ego is gonna be good with that? Like, I'm gonna go to Golden State and help Steph Curry get more rings.
I think at this point in time, if there's one guy that LeBron wants to play with, we saw in the Olympics, it's Steph Curry. Come on. They have like the most bromance relationship I've ever seen. So again, the only thing is they don't really have a lot of draft capital. They have Kaminga, and they kind of don't have a lot of much else. They have Moses Moody, but that's it, man. Like they don't really have a studded depth chart. So I'd love if you were to play with Curry because I want Curry to get 5, but I don't see it happening, man.
Should be fun to watch there. But now we're gonna transition to our picks for this week, Chris, because been having some good luck on the weekend. I did with the UFC. Unfortunately, one of them was Kevin Holland, who was on the losing
Oh,
end. That one would have been a clean shutout for me. But
what
gonna
was he,
go through
minus
this week.
600?
Yeah, minus 600. I had another minus 600 too, who lost in the submission in the last second of their fight, last 10 seconds, and they were winning every round, and they got submitted, lost the title in the PFL. So, yeah, those were not the greatest. And this week I'm going to be bold with all these picks in the CPL, going all soccer and one UFC.
Oh boy.
So UFC, we'll take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not saying like bring the whole mortgage out here, but Bryce Mitchell in the UFC, minus 138. He's taking on Saeed Nurmagomedov. I did do research on it. Apparently, he's not related to Khabib, so
There you go.
he's not the like true Nurmagomedov type of fighter. So I got Bryce Mitchell. CPL, Vancouver FC announced a coaching change earlier today, and they have a new coach, Martin Nash. So Steve Nash's brother, former Canada international player, and York United coach. He's coaching Vancouver. I think they're going to get a big win for their new coach. So that's another one that's a plus. Atletico Ottawa taking on Pacific at home. Pacific isn't the greatest when it comes to playing against Ottawa, so I think Ottawa comes in on the road and gets that. And I got to go with York here as my final one. York and Cavalry. York's a heavy underdog, but they got the top scorer, or one of the top scorers in the league, in Julian Altobelli. So you put those all together, Chris, 2076.
Oh, oh, buddy. Pull out the Brinks truck. Let's put $20 on that and win $200. Let's do it. Why not? Why not? All right, buddy. Well, with my picks, I got 2 in the UFC, and then I got 1 in baseball, and I got 1, believe it or not, it's golf. I've been winning pretty heavily in golf, and I did pick Scott Scheffler to win, and he ended up winning. It was only like plus 200, which is if I have Robert Whitaker in the main event. This guy, it is tough. This is a guy that's been hot and cold as of late, but I think he really does want to bounce back and get that belt. He wants to get that title shot. Now, is he going to beat a Dreykus or a Chimaev? Probably not, but this is definitely a step in the right direction if he wins this one. I got it at minus 150. I think that's a really good number for Whitaker. I think this is a spot where he bounces back. My second play in the UFC, I mean, heavy favorite, but I love this guy so much. Peter Yan, minus 400. The guy is an absolute animal. I know his division is not. I mean, it's ran by Mirab. Let's be honest. This is his division. Nobody's beating this guy. But Peter Yan is definitely someone that I want to see face Mirab later on, and I think he wins this one, and maybe doesn't get a title shot next, but maybe in the coming maybe year, something like that. But everybody loves Peter Yan, so I'm going to take him. My third play for the tomorrow night, the Mariners. They got one of the best batters, players in the league right now, Cal Raleigh. They're at plus 100 on the road against the Angels. Now, it's Yusei Kikuchi, Aulino. This is a former Blue Jays pitcher. He's having a good season, but when he does allow home runs, it's in bunches. So I do like the power behind Seattle at plus 100. That's my third play. And my final play, it's going to be Sam Burns in the PGA, the tournament that's happening this Thursday. I have him as a top 30 finish at minus 150. You put all that together, and you're looking at a 594. Looking at a
I like it.
594 parlay. So, you know what? It's not yours. It's not 20 plus 2,000, but plus 594. I will take that. I hope Whitaker and Peter Yan do not disappoint me in a unanimous decision, because that's the fucking worst.
Yeah, that Kikuchi one, I like that one. So hopefully we see some home runs go outside the stadium and into the streets. That's the kind of baseball, home runs and bunches, make it exciting again.
Exactly. Bring back the steroids. Why not?
Well, Chris, this has been fun. We talked up about, the Leafs, Dakota Joshua, some of the big trades that could happen there. We went to the NBA, some reunions, and LeBron James's next move. Next week, hopefully, we'll might hear more about LeBron, because by then we should find out if he's staying with the Lakers, if he's leaving. But this has been fun. This is a live stream here through StreamYard, and this has been our latest episode here. So we'll see you next week, and hope you guys enjoy the weekend.
Peace.